So welcome everybody today. Thank you so much for joining us. Today's webinar, we're going to be talking about how to use SMS marketing to sell out your events. So we're going to be going over some tips and best practices, as well as the practicalities of how to use Hive for your SMS. My name is Melissa, and I'm a senior customer experience manager here at Hive. So I work one-on-one, essentially as an account manager with some of Hive's customers. I also have Ratha here joining me. Ratha, do you want to give a little introduction to yourself?
Absolutely. Just letting folks in, so I'm keeping an eye on that as well. But I'm Ratha. I'm the onboarding specialist here at Hive. I help a lot of our VIP clients get started, get set up, so they can get going on sending emails and SMS with Hive. And I'm really excited to join Melissa here as well.
Perfect. Thank you. So we're going to get started here. I just wanted to quickly, go over what our agenda today will be. We're going to start off by looking at how to get started with using Hive for SMS, so how to set things up. We're also going to go over some best practices, so some do's and some don'ts for when you do get started with SMS, or if you are already using SMS as part of your marketing strategy. We're next going to look at how to build and nurture your SMS subscriber list. So if you're starting completely from scratch, or maybe you already have some that you want to continue to build on. Ratha has put together a really great little demo of how to build and send an SMS campaign in Hive. So we'll be watching that video. It's just a short little sort of clip of how to do that in Hive if you haven't done it yet. We're going to look at, some things like putting SMS marketing on autopilot. So how you can use things like automations to make sending SMS campaigns even easier. We've got a little customer story for you guys today. And then we're going to leave you with some campaign ideas for SMS that you can start using right away. So if you don't yet have a full SMS marketing strategy built out, but you are looking just to get quickly started, this month or even in the new year, we've got some quick and dirty ideas for you there. And then at the end, we are going to leave some time for Q&A. So if you have any questions, any thoughts, anything you'd like us to expand on, we will leave time for that at the end. So please put your questions in the Q&A section here. And then we will try to get to as many of them at the end as we can. So when we were, looking at SMS as a topic, we know that we do have some of our customers who, of course, are already using SMS as part of their marketing strategy. But for those of you who may not be using it, you may not know how big of a part of a strategy it has become, because 85% of Americans now own a smartphone. So that is a huge amount of your customers and the people who are attending your events. So obviously there's a lot of opportunity for you folks to be, putting SMS campaigns out there and getting them into your customers' hands. The next thing about SMS is that it has a 98% open rate. If you're here today, you're probably already familiar with email marketing and look at those open rates on a regular basis for your email marketing, but text messages, SMS has a really high open rate. So again, there's a huge opportunity there. The next stat I want to leave you guys with here, just as we get started, is that 90% of people open a text message within 3 minutes. So people are, not only opening them at a high rate, but they're also getting eyes on them quite quickly as soon as you're sending them out. So, just so that you know that there's a lot of opportunity with SMS marketing. And then lastly here, brands that use texting as part of their marketing strategy attribute 12.8% of their online revenue specifically to SMS marketing. So, again, not only are you getting your content out in front of your customers, getting eyes on it, but there's also like a big opportunity there for revenue growth and for ticket sales for selling out those events. So I'm going to hand this over here to Ratha for helping us look into getting started.
All right. Thanks so much, Melissa. All right. Getting started. So we're going to go over getting the basics set up for your Hive account. So boop. The first thing that you'll want to do is you want to agree to Hive's terms of service. So after agreeing to Hive's terms of service, you'll be assigned a toll-free number for free. The next step then is, in order to send SMS and MMS, all toll-free numbers must now complete carrier registration. This review process is done by the SMS carriers and typically takes 4 to 5 weeks. I usually get folks on this as soon as possible, even if you're not planning to very soon, get going on this. It's complete, and once it's complete, you will be able to send SMS messages. And there is a short form that is linked to your SMS campaign page in Hive. If you're having any trouble finding it, check out or reach out to our support team and we'll be able to help you with that, of course. And for step 3, if applicable, you'll have to set up payment for SMS. So with Hive, SMS and MMS is to pay per use. And for some customers, SMS payment is set up automatically once you accept the Hive's terms of service. And this also can depend on your ticketing integration. If you have any questions about setting up SMS billing or your SMS billing in general, reach out to your CX manager or to the support team, and we're totally happy to check this out for you. We also have a great article on getting started with SMS and MMS. If you want me to share it with you, let me know in the chat. We can absolutely get that out for everyone as well. Boop. I'm just going to let a few folks in before I move on. Thank you so much. So let's cover some best practices once you are set up in Hive. Boop. All right. So some things that I definitely recommend are, do remember that email and SMS go hand in hand, and do set up an SMS welcome automation. So I really like to get like a welcome email with an SMS can work really well. So you can email to welcome folks, and then it could be followed by an SMS with a promo code towards the first purchase. Really engaging. Do take note definitely of the default keywords and responses for opt-in, help, and opt-out. These default keywords can be found on your SMS settings page. Be aware of them, because people your contacts will be sending in those text messages with start, yes, unstop, which is opt-in. They could also go ask for help with help or info, and opt-out keywords can be something like cancel, end, quit, unsubscribe, stop, or stop all. Also recommend that you do collect email addresses and phone numbers together. We'll cover this later for collection as well. But with Hive, there are sign-up forms, pop-up forms. You can build sign-up pages, landing pages even, to help collect both email and phone numbers with the opt-in for SMS. Boop.
That was me going a little bit too quickly.
It's all good. So do segment and target your subscribers. This allows you to easily retarget those ticket buyers based on their purchasing behavior and location. Do send out your SMS campaigns consistently. Have a consistent sending schedule, consistent messaging and content style. This also builds trust with your contacts. And people trust consistency. As I mentioned before, there's a regular schedule. The messaging is quite consistent. It all comes in line with your branding, for example, and all adds to that trust as well. Also, something to note is that if your toll-free number is inactive for longer periods beyond 30 days, for example, if you start sending those SMS campaigns again, they can be filtered. So to prevent, this is to prevent toll-free numbers from being taken over and to use for phishing. So another reason why a consistent sending schedule is really important as well. And testing, do test and see what works for your customer. You will get data, you will get info in Hive, so you don't need to reinvent the wheel, but you can be creative and test different things. Don't be afraid to test different things and find out what works best for you and your audience. Test, adjust, and test again. You might see that one campaign did better than the other, so get back to that campaign that did better and see what you did there. All right, boop. Great, thank you. So some don'ts to keep in mind as well. To be safe, don't send SMS messages outside of quiet hours. This is normally within the hours of 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We understand that some of your contacts might be in different time zones, and you'll see in the demo that you can send based on specified time zones. So if most of your contacts are in the Pacific time zone, you can set your SMS to send during that time. Or if most of your contacts are in the Eastern time zone, you can definitely set your SMS to send during the Eastern time. All right, don't send, I hate saying don't so strongly, but don't send prohibited or inappropriate content. And some forbidden content categories, these are like illegal substances. This does include cannabis and CBD. Gambling is another one. Shaft use cases and electronic smoking devices. Shaft is anything that is sex, hate, alcohol, firearms, tobacco, high-risk financial services, debt collection or forgiveness, prescription drugs, also falls under this forbidden content category. So something to keep in mind as you're setting up this content as well. Click-through data. Don't ignore your click-through data. This is so important. So you can look at this data and compare to the purchases made. So how many people clicked, how many people purchased, and then you can perhaps set up a retargeting campaign for those folks who did click but didn't purchase yet. That's a great idea. And the last one is definitely don't limit your SMS content to only text and links. In Hive, you are able to add like an event block. You can add an image and turn it into an MMS. So consider including media like images, GIFs, emojis, and videos in your messages to make them more engaging and to highlight your products. This can also help create consistent branding and to even convey sentiment as well. Boop. So building and nurturing your SMS list. Sorry, I just have one person to admit. I just want to make sure. All right. So boop. So with Hive, you can receive SMS opt-in consent with these 3 integrations. If you're with eTix, Venue Pilot, or Shopify, you can get this in and they'll get the opt-in consent immediately. Boop.
Sorry, Beth, I just want to mention one
Yes,
thing.
please.
So here in the screenshot, you can see where the big, large yellow arrow is. This is a screenshot of one of my contact profiles. Of course, this isn't my real number. So if you text that, you won't reach me. But next to my phone number there, you can see there's a green check mark. In Hive, that is one of the ways that you can see that that user has specifically opted in. So it is possible that you could have some phone numbers in Hive already, but you may not have that opt-in consent to actually send them messages. So that green check mark next to their phone number is a clear and easy way to see in your Hive account whether or not you'll be able to send SMS campaigns to those contacts. Super.
Thanks so much for that clarification, Melissa. All right. So other collection tools in Hive that you can use are sign-up forms, pop-up forms, landing pages, contests, and even pre-sales. We all strongly suggest this is that if you're offering promotions and discounts in exchange for your customers' numbers on the website or within the app, this can also help accelerate the first conversion by providing the customer with immediate incentive to buy. So I had mentioned even like in a welcome email, if you do have the capacity to add a promo code or a discount code in there, that's also a great, you just signed up and then there's a discount code. For me, that's a great incentive to buy. I know this because I've done that. It can also, offering promotions and discounts in exchange for your customers' numbers can also lower the bar for building your contact database. So a customer can give you their number before they ever make a purchase. So this gives you the opportunity and your marketing team the opportunity to build that customer relationship and drive repeat conversions long-term. So you're building that relationship. You're not just getting that sale. And with pre-sales, this is one of our newest features. If you haven't explored it yet, definitely do. You can set up custom landing pages to collect fan registrations for early pre-sale access. So in addition to growing your contact list, using a pre-sale registration page can increase ticket sales by creating that sense of urgency and exclusivity as well. Boop.
Nice. And I also wanted to point out that, sorry, Rafa, the
No, don't
screen
be sorry.
the image here, what we've got on the right-hand side is actually from one of our landing pages. And as you can see, they're collecting both email address and phone number together, which ties back to what Rafa was saying a moment ago about trying to collect those two pieces of information together. In Hive, we do use the email address as the unique identifier for each contact profile. So by collecting that at the same time as the phone number, you're ensuring those two pieces of information join together in one contact profile in Hive, which down the road is helpful for tracking revenue, but also just keeping everything cohesive and in one place altogether, as using that sort of CRM aspect of Hive.
Awesome. Thank you. And boop.
This
Now
is
sorry. No, it's all good. And now the one last piece of way you can collect to grow your SMS list is by importing the contacts. So even if you don't have a ticketing platform, for example, if you're not with eTix, you're like, oh no, I'm not getting SMS opt-ins, I'm not getting SMS contacts. You absolutely can. You can build a landing page or use a sign-up form. And then if you've also already collected a bunch of phone numbers and their opt-in from your contacts, those can be imported via CSV. And so you can get those phone numbers along with the opt-in as well. During this process, I did want to highlight again, because opt-in is so important, is that there is a checkbox that you have to check off and confirm that you do have the explicit opt-in from these SMS subscribers. Again, reach out to your CX manager or our support team if you have any questions at all about growing your subscriber list. Boop. All right. We're going to go into a quick demo. We're going to build and send an SMS campaign in Hive. Boop.
Let's create an SMS campaign in Hive. From your dashboard, head to SMS. From here, you can view your sent, your scheduled, or your draft SMS campaigns. I'm going to click on New SMS Campaign. I have the option of setting up an SMS automation that's ongoing based on when my subscribers complete actions or match specific conditions. But for this example, I'm going to set up a one-time SMS campaign. First thing I'll do is choose my recipients by first selecting a filter. There are tons of filters that I can use in Hive. It's the awesome thing. I can better target my contacts using a bought tickets to an event or all events filter by specific genre, by an event name keyword, or having entered a contest, or a bunch of other filters here. For this example, I'm going to select a specific segment of SMS subscribers. I can add multiple filters if I wish. I'm just going to use the one and update the subscriber count here. That looks great. I have about over 11,000 subscribers selected. I'll hit continue. Going to enter an internal campaign name. This does not meet the eyes of any of my contacts. It's just for me. So I like to include a name that will remind me of what the campaign's about. Since this is a coupon promotion and it's a surprise on a Wednesday, I'll add that info into the campaign. The option to send this campaign immediately. I'm going to schedule this for a specific date and time on December 20th as a midweek surprise. Let's say 10 a.m. Pacific time. This SMS campaign will only send after the final confirmation step, so I'll hit continue. The next step is editing the message content. The brand name is included, but is optional. I can include an event block or choose an image to add in. add an image. This will convert the message from SMS to MMS and cost a bit more. I'll update the message body. There's already a merge tag in here, which will automatically populate with my contact's first name. If I don't have it, it will just default to there. So hey there, or hey, whatever the first name is. I'm gonna update this message to let them know they have a 10% coupon for their next purchase. Great. I can see the preview of what the SMS will look like. It looks great. I can include more merge tags if I wish, or send myself a test. There's also an optional opt-out message for my contacts. While it says optional, I highly recommend that this opt-out message is included so that your contacts have the ability to opt out if they wish. I'll save and continue here. This last page, I can again preview my message and review all of my campaign details, from the campaign name, which is internal, the number of recipients, who those recipients are. They're from a segment of SMS subscribers, excluded recipients, including those who haven't opted in, those who have opted out, and invalid phone numbers, the time this campaign is scheduled to send, the send speed, and then the estimated cost, so I can review it against any budgets I have before sending. So at this point, I can confirm and schedule the campaign or save it as a draft.
And I did want to just add a note that the send speed, I should have added more details about the send speed. So the send speed is the estimated time your SMS will be sent to all the recipients. By default, your SMS in Hive will be sent out at a pace of about 3 texts per second, and you'll get the full time period in the campaign details in the send speed there. And it is good to note the number of characters or emojis, if you do add emojis, used in the SMS can affect the sending speed. So if you have more characters or emojis, it will be slower. But now that we've built an SMS campaign, let's look at some examples of SMS automations you can set up and use on autopilot. Thanks, Melissa.
Thanks, Rafa. So as Rafa mentioned a little bit earlier, one of the first automations that we recommend setting up is a welcome SMS. So this would be a SMS campaign that goes out automatically to anybody who newly signs up and subscribes to your SMS subscriber list and becomes a new SMS contact. So this is a great way to introduce those new subscribers to your brand. It's an opportunity to set expectations as to how often they may expect to hear from you, what type of content they may be receiving from you, and then basically just engage your subscribers from the get-go. When you're setting this up in Hive, you have the option to either set up an automation that is just for SMS. So when somebody signs up, they just receive this. But if you are collecting those phone numbers and email addresses together, it can be nice to set up your automation so that it includes both a welcome email and a welcome SMS message, so that they're receiving both at about the same time. Another thing that Rafa mentioned that can be great as an incentive for a welcome SMS would be to include some sort of coupon code or discount as a way to, encourage people to sign up to your list. So in the example here, it's very kind of basic, it says like, hey, it's Vega, that being the brand name in this case. Thanks for joining our SMS friends list. where you'll get first access to ticket sales, info on upcoming shows, and special promos. So that's really just setting expectations about the content they'll receive. Then lastly, it ends with, as a special thank you, use code SMS Friends and get 10% off your next ticket purchase. And then that can link out to, perhaps your website or where you are selling tickets at the moment. And then lastly, there you've got your opt-out message. So, it doesn't have to be anything too fancy, but just lets people know and confirms that they have signed up and successfully joined your list. The next type of automation that we would recommend setting up would be our pre-sales. So pre-sale campaigns are one of the newer features in Hive. We launched it this past summer, and you can include SMS as part of your pre-sale automated messaging. So pre-sales allow you to offer early access to ticket sales for a select group of your contacts or subscribers. It's a really good way to increase early revenue for your ticket sales, to get people hyped. It gives that sense of exclusivity. So, a couple of examples that I put together here. The one on the left, it says, "Hey, Sasha." So again, using that personalization by calling out your contact's name. It says, "Pre-sale for the first ever Valentine's Day party at the Pavilion on February 13th is live. Grab your tickets now and use code BESTIE for a 15% discount." So that's giving that sort of sense that it's something special and exclusive for them. On the right there, we've got an example of an MMS campaign because it does include an image in it. So it says, "Hey, Sam, we're sharing a secret pre-sale link with Front Festival's biggest fans. Sign up here and be first in line." So a couple of great ways to build excitement ahead of ticket sales going live to the general public. We also, a newer feature in Hive that we introduced this year would be event workflows. So if you haven't explored this yet, if you have a ticket integration connected to your Hive account, when you log in at the very top of your dashboard, you should see a number of your events listed there for your upcoming events. And if you click through to that, the screenshot that you see here on the right are some of our event workflows. So these are essentially some pre-templated both email and SMS campaigns to help you better promote your event and engage your ticket buyers. So, some of these examples of, SMS campaigns that help you, target past ticket buyers would be, your top 25% of ticket buyers, for example. We've got a template there for ticket buyers who've previously purchased tickets for an event at that venue for the event that's coming up, people who've purchased tickets to that genre in the past. So essentially, taking a number of the different filters that we have for your contacts and your ticket buyers and putting them all in one easy place here for your event workflows to make this as seamless and essentially, putting your work on autopilot there. So this was something that we released in September. So if you haven't taken a look at it yet, we encourage you to take a look. And hopefully this makes sending out your first SMS campaign even easier. So the next one here would be ahead of your event. You're looking at your pre-event automations. So those are messages that you're sending out to your contacts, ahead of an event going on sale or just as an event does go on sale. So that is sending out an SMS campaign when tickets do go on sale. So on the right, with the example there, we've got, big on sale now, tickets are now available, get them before they're gone. And then of course, including the link to where your contact can immediately go purchase them. A next sort of automation would be on sale reminders. So, after tickets have just gone on sale, maybe they've been up for, a week or so, you can use our filters to target people who have not yet purchased tickets. For example, you could say, "Oh no, we know you're a big fan of Renee Rapp, but it looks like you haven't gotten your tickets yet." So that's, a way of using the data that you already have from past ticket buyers to try and encourage them to buy tickets to an event that you think that they may be interested in. Of course, then you've got your event reminders. This could be for people who have already purchased tickets, but perhaps people who haven't purchased tickets again as well. So, using it to create excitement before an event. So letting them know that the countdown is on, only 1 week until your upcoming event, for example, we can't wait to see you. And then you could direct them to your website for, how they can look at all of their upcoming details. So one thing that I want to mention here is that, you can use varying styles of your content and copy so that you're not sending out the same message over and over again. One thing to keep in mind about SMS is that because it does come directly to people's phones, it feels very personal. So, using some more personalization tactics like their name or referring back to events that they've purchased tickets to in the past, people actually like that. Because it does, as I mentioned, feel personal. It's something you're carrying around in your pocket all the time. And it means that you're tailoring your content and messaging to this specific marketing channel. So that if they're also signed up to get your emails, it feels a little bit different through SMS specifically. The next types of campaigns that you could set up automations for would be add-ons and upsells. So even after somebody has already purchased a ticket, there could be other opportunities for them afterward to upsell to some sort of add-on that you may have. So, that could be things like VIP access, backstage, early access, perhaps drink or food tickets and things like that. SMS automations are also great for sending know before you go information. So that is anything that your event goers may need to know before they arrive at the show. So that's everything from when are the doors opening to where could they park, what can or cannot they bring into your venue for the event. It's making sure that they don't have any questions. And again, since it's being sent to their phone, they're likely going to have their phone on them when they attend your event. So it's going to be right there in their pocket. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention would be your any last minute event changes. We know that things do change. So that could be anything from, the door opening to sort of sudden weather changes, or anything that kind of does come up a little bit last minute. Any of these you could use an automation for, but you don't have to limit yourself to automations. You can also send them as one-off campaigns as well. But of course, automations, you can set them up in advance and it saves you a lot of time on the day of the show because you can sort of set it and forget it and get back a bit of that time in your day because we know all of our customers are very, very busy people. So I wanted to kind of, use this opportunity to tell a little bit of a customer story here about how one of Hive's customers has used the different techniques and strategies that we've talked about to see success with sending SMS campaigns in Hive. So a really good example, and it's very, very timely, is one of our customers, Halloween. Last year, they drove $120,000 in ticket sales from just 2 text messages with a last-minute pre-sale campaign. So Halloween is an annual music festival that's held in Florida over the Halloween weekend. And that event attracts about 20,000 attendees each year. So last year, again, very timely, in December of 2022, in the midst of, this very busy holiday season, they experienced a few delays in launching their pre-sale campaign for the 2023 festival. So just a few days before Christmas, last December, they realized that they had a really tight 2-day or 48-hour window to announce their pre-sale campaign. So they realized that with that tight time window, it was crucial for them to create a sense of urgency for their fans, and also to really cut through all of the noise of the other sort of holiday communication that they were aware was going on. So what they did with their 2 campaigns to see that $120,000 in revenue is that they did 2 SMS sends. The first one here was targeting past purchasers with their enticing SMS copy. They sent their first SMS to over 16,000 contacts that they had. And from that first SMS campaign alone, the one on the left here, it generated $90,000 in revenue on the first day alone. So, you know, what that campaign said is it's time, blind pre-sales happening now through tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. Eastern, lock in your passes for just 10% down. And then they made sure to include a link where their recipients could click to buy tickets right away. And of course, they did include the opt-out language at the bottom. So, you know, a very basic campaign here, letting people know the time, you know, cutting right to the business of what's happening, when it's happening, and making sure that they knew that they would be getting a 10% discount. One thing that I did like that they did specifically here is that they included the time zone for Eastern. One thing to keep in mind with your contacts is that they may not all be in the same time zone and that people also are traveling. So you want to, you know, make sure that there's as few ways as possible that your contact could be confused about the message that you're sending, and that you're really clarifying when, including the time zone there. So after they saw that really good success of the $90,000 in revenue from that first campaign there on the left, they decided that they were going to extend the pre-sale another day. So for another 24 hours. And what they did was for that anybody who had not purchased tickets yet. So again, they were using their Hive filters for this. And they sent a follow-up message to those people. So that second message said, due to demand, the blind presale has been extended until tonight at, again, 11:59 p.m. Eastern. It's limited general admission and VIP inventory remaining. Don't miss out. And once again, they linked out to their website. So from those two texts, 90,000 from the first one, and then, you know, 120,000 in total. So this was last year, a last minute campaign. Of course, you know, if you have the time and opportunity to create a longer campaign, that is what's going to be ideal for most customers. But this is just to show you that if you use SMS strategically and kind of try to entice people to purchase right away, you can still see a lot of success with an SMS campaign, even during a busy time like the holidays. So there is, you know, we've kind of talked about all of the different types of campaigns around selling tickets, around, you know, right when tickets go on sale, you know, what to do after they've gone on sale and how to sort of like keep up all of that communication. But in between events like that, I often get questions from customers about like, what else can I send? How else can I keep people engaged so that there aren't long gaps in between when people are receiving SMS campaigns from you, so that they're not, you know, suddenly receiving a campaign after 2 or 3 months of silence and wondering, you know, who is this from? So it's a good idea to continue to send SMS campaigns even outside of your events. And there's lots of different ways you can do that still, you know, educate your customers or create excitement, or, you know, make them feel like they're part of your, you know, friends list or VIP list, or however it is that you've positioned your SMS subscriber list. So I wanted to leave you folks, before we move on to the Q&A here, with some ideas that you can already start to put into practice this month of December and into January. So one of the things here is in December, there are a lot of holidays. So, you know, there's Advent, there's Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Boxing Day. You know, there's a lot going on this month. And a lot of event companies that I speak with think, you know, oh, holidays, that's e-commerce. But tickets are a great gift giving idea. So don't discount all of the holidays. There's a lot of opportunity to try and incorporate your brand style, your brand message, your brand language, and kind of, you know, tweak that to fit your audience and what you think that they may respond to. So that could be anything from you know, looking for a gift that, you know, fits kind of thing. Give the gift of music. That's great for gift giving. You could do sort of a countdown every weekend for like an Advent giveaway, for example. You know, you could even do something something cheeky. If you have birthday information for your contacts and you know they have a December birthday, send them a message saying like, hey, sorry you have to share your birthday for in the month of December. Here's a special 10% off for all your December birthdays. So there's lots of sort of like fun ways that you can incorporate the holidays into an SMS campaign. And part of that could include gift giving. The other big holiday in December is obviously New Year's Eve. So that could be if you are promoting a New Year's Eve event, making sure to remind people that you have last minute tickets, that they can come and celebrate with you. So obviously promoting those New Year's Eve events, but it could also just be wishing them a happy New Year's and a good year ahead. And connected to that is customer appreciation. So the end of the year, if you don't have any events going on, or even if you do, it's a great opportunity to reach out to your contacts and thank them for their support during the year. So making sure that they feel again connected, and SMS is great for this because it does feel personal. So those are some, quick and easy campaigns for December. And I did also want to include January because, as Ratha mentioned, if you are not using SMS quite yet, if you maybe haven't gone through the SMS carrier registration process, in some cases that can take 4 to 5 weeks. So it could be that some people here today are not able to send SMS campaigns immediately, but certainly by January, if you do that registration soon, you should have no problem. So here are some ideas for January. One thing that people don't think about or necessarily connect to their marketing campaigns would be New Year's resolutions. A lot of people still make resolutions. So, how can you connect what you and your business do to what your customer is doing for their personal resolution? So there's lots of ways that you can be part of that. For some people, their resolution is doing things that bring them more joy. They may want to spend more time with friends and family, attend more concerts, get off digital, do things in person, all of which, you can kind of remind them that you can be part of that. So in my example, I've got, hey, is your New Year's resolution to spend more time with friends? Or maybe it's to get off digital. Attending a show pavilion allows you to do both, which would be true. January is also what's known as January. So you could send out a message saying, hey, it's January, check out our, lineup this month and join us for some jams. So promoting, your lineup that you've got coming up this month, perhaps, any big shows that you have. So just, letting people know that they can in that sort of, for those of us towards the north during those darker, snowier months, January is a great sort of like cozy marketing strategy. The next would be contests. Again, this ties back to what Ratha mentioned about making sure, you're giving people value through SMS campaigns, contests. Most people have done a lot of holiday shopping already in November and December, so their budgets may not be as full in January as other months. So a contest is a great way to give them something for free. So, as an example, you could send them a text that says giveaway alert. Hey, Hannah, do you love hip hop? Enter to win 2 tickets to see such and such an artist on this date, and then the link to have them join your contest. And then the last sort of idea for January would be, sending out recommendations for events. As I mentioned, mobile feels very personal, and mobile buyers prefer personalized recommendations as opposed to, here are the popular shows coming up. So you can use the data that you have in Hive with all of your filters to recommend events specifically for that contact. So it could be genres that they've been to in the past or similar artists. Also because of the holidays just having passed, they've likely been purchasing gifts for a lot of other people. So this can kind of make them feel like it's something just for them. So that would be another little idea there for January. Perfect. So we've left a little time here at the end for some questions and answers, a little Q&A. Ratha, how's it looking there in the Q&A section? Oh, I think you're
good. Yeah. Thank you. We have lots of great questions coming in. I'm doing my best to, I'll go, I think some of them we can definitely share with everyone, and some of them I'm going to answer, I'll take offline and make sure I get a response that way. It might not just be so relevant, or it might be a little specific. But the one that I wanted to bring up for sure was from Alan, is how do I set up a number for people to text a phrase to sign up for? So Alan, what you'll want to do, we mentioned that at the very closer to the beginning, so easy to forget already, absolutely, is you'll first want to accept Hive's terms of services, and then you'll get a toll-free number assigned. And then once you have this phone number, that's the number that people can text to. And what I could recommend at this point is setting up like a keyword SMS campaign. And you can set up a keyword SMS auto response automation in Hive, but that would be, I think, what you're looking for. So accept the terms of service from on Hive's end, you'll get that phone number, and then of course you'll have to submit and get your account verified. But once that's done, I would definitely recommend a keyword SMS auto response automation for you. And that is definitely a way to get folks to sign up as well.
And if you're not sure whether you've accepted the terms of service or not, maybe you did it a while ago and can't quite remember, maybe a colleague did it. If you're in Hive on the left-hand menu, if you click on SMS, it'll take you to your SMS campaigns page. And then in the menu there, it'll say settings. So if you go to that settings page, there up at the top of that page is where you should see your toll-free number. And that toll-free number is assigned to you for free by Hive. So you don't need to pay anything additional just for having an SMS or a toll-free number. With SMS, Hive, it's pay as you go. So you're only charged for the SMS messages and MMS messages that you send out through Hive.
And then Rochelle had a really good question, is do people use SMS for post-show surveys? You can, absolutely.
That is a great usage.
Yeah, that's a great message, a great question, and it can be an absolute great message, and also a fantastic way to continue to get your contacts to engage with you and your content and your content as well. So for example, what some folks do is they might post photos from the event, and they'll send an SMS to update their any attendees. They'll let them know there are photos, like one. You can also ask, check out our survey. If you could fill out our survey, this would be great. Some people even integrate like a contest at that point to even further get more engagement and whatnot after an event. So totally up to you. But yes, Rochelle, in short, yes, people absolutely do use SMS for post-show surveys. You can add the link right into your SMS message to the survey. Great question. Let's see. So Mike had another great question that I wanted to revisit, is do you collect the numbers through Hive or the ticketing platform? So the ticketing platforms that, the integrations that will collect numbers and opt-in are eTix, Venue Pilot, and there's also Shopify will also collect that information. Otherwise, through Hive, you can set up, you can use an embedded sign-up form, you can build a landing page, a splash page even, or like a pop-up. And those are ways that you can collect those numbers through Hive. And if you've already collected the numbers, as we mentioned, you can also import those numbers in CSV to get that info in. All right. Some great questions coming in. Let's see. So there is a question about pricing. So I did want to mention that SMS is priced per SMS or MMS. And also things like adding an image will convert that SMS to an MMS, which costs a bit more. And so what I would recommend is, and it will be different depending on your different ticketing platforms, if you have a volume discount and whatnot. Best bet is I can share our pricing link. I'll share that in the chat, but also double check with your account manager, and also check in with the support team as well, just to double check that you are getting billed properly for SMS. Right. Let's see. Skylar, I'm a little confused by your question. I'm going to read it out, but and hopefully maybe as I'm reading it out, it'll clarify, and maybe Melissa can help me with this as well. So what happens if we have multiple sign-up units for different brands and someone has previously used one, then tries another? Do they get a message that they already opted in, or they can be segmented separately as is? Do you mean duplicates, Skylar? Are you worried about duplicates coming in? So in Hive, the email is the unique identifier. Tell me if I'm incorrect in assuming your question here. So email is the unique identifier. So if anyone, their profile won't be duplicated, but if new info is added, or that will update their profile. So duplicates are deleted, but any new info will just be updated on the profile. If that's not correct, or if I read your question incorrectly, please let me know.
It could also refer to some of our customers have multiple brand accounts in Hive. So they may have multiple venues, multiple festivals, and they're all sort of separated. With SMS, explicit opt-in, that consent is very important. So typically people are consenting to receive SMS from one particular company or brand. So if, I'm going to use myself as an example. If I were to opt in for one brand, that I'm not necessarily opting in from another brand or, another company as well. So my contact profile in Hive, that SMS consent would just apply to that one brand or account in Hive, and not all of your other sort of brands or accounts that you may or may not have.
I think you answered the question.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, as Skylar mentioned, we collect separate opt-ins for different brands under our main account and want to target those opt-ins per brand separately. So I think I hope that,
and it is important to make sure that you are having that consent. If somebody were to opt in through a sign-up form or a landing page, one of Hive's collection tools, we do store a record of that opt-in consent. But if you are collecting opt-in from somewhere else, or you already have a list of phone numbers that you have opt-in for, when you import those into Hive, it is sort of the responsibility is on you to make sure that that was consent was explicitly given, because there are ramifications to sending people SMS that they didn't opt in for.
Thank you, Melissa. And a couple of people have asked this, so I'll just answer it right now. Do we integrate with Humanitics? Humanitics? No, we don't integrate with Humanitics. But yeah, a couple of questions of that have come up. If it's a piece of feedback that you'd like to see Hive integrate with, send us an email. We're always open to feedback. We're always open to suggestions. So please send us an email and we can absolutely share it with our product teams and partnerships team as well.
Yeah, we have this year in Hive, we did introduce 2 new ticketing integration partners. We now integrate with Ticketmaster and TicketWeb. So we are always looking at and evaluating other ticketing partners that we could integrate with. So as Ratha said, 100%, if there's a ticketing platform that you are using, or even if you're considering using it, and you're really hoping that Hive would integrate with them, just, send us a note, a message to our support team, and they will pass it on to our partnership team for them to evaluate.
All right. So we have a few more really good questions that I wanted to address. From Kaifi, do you have stats on how much Halloween spent for that 2 text pre-sale campaign? How many patrons the text went out to? Do we have that info?
I don't have it off the top of my head. However, with Halloween, we did specifically do a case study with them. So you can find that case study on our website. And it would be under our...
I got it. I'll share the link in the chat with everyone, and everyone can take a closer look. It's a great story. This is one that I love as well. So let me the meeting. I'm hopping into the chat right now. Just a link from our site. So have a look at that. All right. Helps. All right, so Jake has a really good question. We already have a giant newsletter list that comes in from e-ticks and manual uploads. What would be the best way to initiate SMS to those contacts?
So with e-ticks, sorry, Rafa.
No, it's all good.
I know that they are one of our ticketing integrations that we can collect SMS, like we can receive SMS consent data through the integration. It does come into Hive. It may depend a little bit on a case-by-case basis with eTix customers about which ones have that feature turned on in your checkout flow. So you may first want to double check with your eTix rep to make sure that that feature is currently turned on in your checkout flow, so that you're from that initial checkout on eTix actually collecting that data so that it then can be sent to Hive. And then, let's say that maybe you do have that feature already turned on and you are already collecting SMS opt-in consent and phone numbers with that consent, and it's coming into Hive. To get those people, obviously, if you've already been collecting it, you haven't been sending them a welcome email. So, there's a few different ways you could do that. Is that you could target an email campaign to those people saying, hey, we're doing we've got like our SMS list. We're excited to be starting that. Here's what you can expect, and then send them out like an SMS campaign, sort of like welcoming them then. And then going forward, making sure that you do have a welcome automation set up so that that is going out automatically to anybody who joins newly to your list after the fact. Is there anything you would add to that, Rafa?
I think it was perfect.
Excellent.
Yeah. I love automations for doing not just welcoming folks, but like doing a little extra work for you if possible.
Yeah, big time saver. We know marketers are busy people. They've got a lot of things on their plate, and automations can be a huge time saver.
All right. I think we have that's done, and I think we're good for one more question. This is a really good one. And it goes into like explicit opt-in like as well. So if your customer, so this is from Mike, if your customer list CSV that you upload to Hive has the phone number, but they didn't explicitly opt in, can you send them an initial text for them to choose opt-in or opt-out?
No. Unfortunately, no. In that case, the best thing to do would be when you're importing that CSV, make sure that during the CSV import process, you're not checking off the box that says like, yes, I have the consent. Because when you do that, that imports those contacts and phone numbers into Hive and automatically shows them with the green check is that like, yes, they have opted in. So don't do that, but do continue your CSV import, including those phone numbers. And then what I would next suggest is filtering for those contacts and sending an email campaign to people whose phone number you do have, and then redirecting them to perhaps like a landing page or something like that, or getting them to send like a keyword to your Hive phone number and getting them to opt in that way. You don't have to tell them that you already have their phone number, but without that opt-in consent, you're not able to send them SMS campaigns. That's like against the regulations from the telecommunications industry, and also within Hive. One of the nice things is that our platform simply won't allow you to send SMS to contacts who you don't have that explicit consent for. And that is actually, to prevent you from accidentally sending to any of those people.
Awesome. Right. Some of the questions I did respond to already. And I did want to mention again that you will get a recording of our time together. So no worries if you had to skip out or you're skipping out now or you're heading out now. It's all good. A lot of integration questions. I think that's it. I'm just going to hop into the chat. I think we're slowing down. Let's see, I'm sending. Okay. No, you're welcome, Mike. You're welcome, everyone. Okay, so Diana had I have one last great question. I'm sending custom campaigns based on past purchases, venues. How were those users segmented? Was it automatic based on ticketing integration? Okay, so that's a great question coming from Diana. It'll be our last question for today. So Diana is sending custom campaigns based on past purchases, venues, etc. Her question is, how are those users segmented? Is it automatic based on ticketing integration?
Yeah, so that would depend on which filter you're using. So in Hive, we have a lot of different contact filters, specifically for people who've purchased tickets, who have or have not purchased tickets to an event in the past. One of those filters that we have is venue. So if you have a ticketing integration, or even if you have imported a CSV that includes ticket buyer information with a column for the venue where the event was, you can filter your contacts based on those different venues. So you can send out targeted SMS campaigns to people who just purchased at a specific venue, or even multiple venues, because you can add multiple filters.
So I hope that helped answer your question. Perfect. And last question. Okay. Do you have a breakdown of how various age demographics respond to SMS? Do you mean in general, or would it be for your own contacts, M? So if you mean from Hive in general, I don't think we have that information easily like that data. It's not easily readily available. But if you mean for your own contacts, it would also depend if you are collecting that the age demographic info as well. So that could show up in your breakdown for your campaign breakdown. If I haven't, I don't think, yeah, if you can give us more info, M, on, do you mean Hive in general or your own contacts? That would be really good. And we can get your question answered. You can send us an email to support@hive.com, and we're happy to answer your questions.
Yeah, to me, just generally on that, we do have some of our customers who do target their SMS campaigns by age range. One or actually two festivals that are run by the same marketing team come to mind. Both of their festivals are in their summer. One of their festivals is very geared towards, I'd say, like Gen Z, while the other is more millennial and Gen Xers. And they this summer decided to experiment with sending more email campaigns to their older contacts, their millennials and Gen Xers, and then more SMS campaigns to their younger contacts to sort of see what response that would have. Now, I do mention that they, experimented with this because I'm a big fan of, there are statistics out there about generally what works, but it all comes down to your unique audience. I certainly wouldn't want to blanket say that, X age range doesn't respond as well to SMS because each person, each audience, each region is unique. And, I don't want to lean too heavily on stereotypes. So I always recommend, testing out with your audience, especially if you do have that age range data within your contacts in Hive. You can play around with sending out campaigns to see how your audience and your customers do respond.
Thank you so much, Melissa. I think that is the end of our time. We're a little bit over, so I really appreciate everyone who has stayed. If I've gone through the chat, if I've missed your question or anything like that, please send us an email at support@hive.co. Yes. Yeah, support@hive.co. It was like in my head, but I'm like questioning if it's the right one. Send us an email or reach out to your account manager, and we are so happy to help address any questions that have lingered. And of course, we're going to send everyone a recording. So thank you so much for your time. Really, really appreciate it. I hope this was helpful for you. We loved having you all. Thank you.
Thank you.